Hi, friends. Welcome to Real Talk with Real Moms. I'm Darcy.
I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Alma. And as always, we're unscripted, unrehearsed.
Obviously.
We're an open book.
Yeah.
All right. What are we talking about today, guys?
So today's going to be a fun day.
I'm excited about this.
Let's not pretend that we didn't just talk for 45 minutes before we started this episode, but so today's episode is just going to be a fun question and answer forum. We all gathered a bunch of different questions and we're bringing them in first time, whatever girl asked the question, it's the first time the other two girls are hearing the question.
Yeah, we did not rehearse this. We did not even tell each other what we're asking, so I'm excited.
I wonder if some of us have the same questions. I'm super curious.
The questions we're going to ask.
I feel like surely we'll have some of the same questions. So we're doing mom life, wife life, and just life questions, like just fun questions. Some of them are fun. Some of mine are a little deep. Okay. So I'm excited.
I'm kind of scared.
You should be. Alma, you're up. Go. What is your mom life question?
Okay, here's my mom life question. Actually, this came from, I heard it today in another TikToker's account, and it wasn't a question per se, but she definitely went to this. So the question is, we all love our kids and we love being moms, but how do you feel about parenting? Like, parenting is different than being a parent. Like, we love being parents, but how do you feel about parenting? Do you love it? Is it something that you hate to do? I want to know.
This is a good one.
Darcy, you're up.
So mine's like a little bit of both. Like, I love the parts of being a mom or parenting where it's like activities and sports and, I really enjoy that stuff. I don't enjoy like not sleeping or not being in charge of my own sleep schedule or, I don't know, just like she's my boss. Like, my life is just completely revolved around her and what
Kennedy. Do you want me to scare the sleep into her?
Yeah, please do. I need someone to help me because she's actually been doing a lot better recently. But so overall, yes, I love parenting and I like the fun parts and stuff. But yeah, or like the getting up every day to take her to school. Like that, they don't tell, you have to do it. But when you're getting up every day at 6 a.m. to pack bags and make lunches, I'm like, when does this end? And
some days I lie and I call my mom and I say, Mom, I have a 9 a.m. meeting. Can you come pick up Gina and bring her to school?
I don't blame you. It's every morning.
I'm happy to help.
It's every morning. And I'm just you should know this when you become a parent, but someone should really sit you down.
You don't. And that's exactly what this post was about. If you follow Lots of Miles, she's like one of my favorite.
Oh, I love her.
I love her. And
I know, and for the longest time,
how when we're pregnant, we read all these books on pregnancy and preparing ourselves for pregnancy, but they should have classes on parenting. We don't prepare ourselves for parenting.
I actually did do a series on things about giving birth to a child that you didn't know about giving birth to a child.
Lindsay,
and it was that was awesome.
You know how many people though came back to me and were like, people know this. Do you know how many, you should know this if you're giving birth. And I'm like, do you know how many people do not know these things? And that, you bleed for 2 months after you give birth to a child. No, people don't know that.
No.
Right. So
what about,
it just goes back to the whole notion of some moms are just meant to be judgy moms and they just can't help themselves.
I was so ill prepared for that. I seriously, and I know I should have read all the books that, were given to me and all that. I didn't read anything. So I was very, very ill prepared. I had great pregnancy, so I never had issues or anything like that. But as far as delivery goes, I tried to do a whole delivery plan, but didn't work.
I'm so glad.
I had the worst pregnancy and I envy you.
I had good ones.
Good for you.
Oh, you're so cool with your great pregnancy.
But my 34-hour labor, put a stop to that shit.
Oh, you're 34 hours.
How much did you were going
I was in
around
the
saying how much you like pregnancy?
3 days before Gia came.
Oh no, I'm not
Oh,
saying that. I
God.
was in the hospital for 34 hours. I was in labor prior to that. And they had to stop it with the shots. I was in labor, so they had to get shots to stop my labor. And I was in labor for 34 hours.
No, I'm just kidding. But
it sucked.
I was contracting, and no, same thing. We had very similar labors. I'm not taking that away from you. I'm only joking. I just did not have a very. I just had a very bad pregnancy and bad labor, and eventually I plan to have another child, and I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I'm going to do that. Like, how am I going to get pregnant again?
And go through all that. So what about you two though? Do you like parenting?
I do. I'm a lazy parent.
Okay. No, go ahead.
I'm a lazy parent. But I like being the boss. She's the only person I get to be the boss of.
I got you. Yeah,
nobody else listens to me.
I get that.
And quite frankly, like honestly, like my child, I'm probably doomed with a second child because my first child cleans up. She's 2 years old. She cleans up after herself. She says, thank you. She says, sorry. She says, bless you. Like, these are things that I didn't even know a 2-year-old could say. And she's doing them literally today, my dad handed her cookies and she went, thank you. And so like,
oh, that's perfect.
That's fun for me.
How it should be. Yeah. No.
Yeah. So it's fun for me right now. And I'm sure eventually I'm going to be like,
Gia's at a very fun age. My kids are 10 and 7. And so, I'm not, and to be honest, I'm not the type of parent, like depending on the activity, but like I can do sports and soccer and all that stuff. And I did a lot of activities with my kids when they were little and Gia's age and Kennedy's age. But like, I am not a come sit down and play with me mom. Like I get like distracted really easily. And it's not something that I enjoy unless it's like a Lego set with instructions that we have to follow. And like, I love that type of stuff.
Structure.
But like the things my kids do not interest me. And I know I have to like pretend to do it. But like, I am not interested in watching them play Fortnite. I am not interested in jumping on the trampoline and trying not to pee my pants because we have children and doing that. I'm not interested in your new flip accomplishment. Like I congratulate them and all that, but like, mom, come and watch me do that. I don't want to sit and watch you play video games. I'll sit and watch a movie. Love it. Right. Like I have zero interest in my kids' interests.
Meanwhile, I could literally shove your kid off the trampoline and be like, watch how it's done.
Come on,
I would love the trampoline. I would love being on a trampoline.
It's not in a mean way. I think maybe
my parents didn't allow me to have one in high school, so I have envy of any kid who has a trampoline.
Like maybe because they're boys and they're interested in things that I genuinely like. If I play video games, and especially the video games that they play, they make you dizzy. It's like the Blair Witch Project. Like there's like, the camera's like moving like this, and you're like. And my kids play really inappropriate games for their ages, so like that doesn't bother me at all. But they're running around, and the camera is like.
You're like, I don't want to do it.
I don't want to look at the screen. Like I get vertigo.
I just don't even understand the whole I don't understand the whole thing behind watching other people play video games anyway. Like how and when did that become a thing? And why is it like the still norm these days?
They watch kids play video games on YouTube and then follow their steps while they're playing video games. And it's like, I don't get it. And then I can't stand some of those kids on YouTube. Like some of them are very exaggerated and not like how they're doing. And it's a little too much for me, but they love it. As long as they can listen to it, as long as I don't have to sit there.
My brother just signed up for a Twitch because people are watching him live stream his Call of Duty on Twitch. And I'm like, why is this the norm these days that people want to watch you play Call of Duty? I don't.
Because they follow
literally used to like run away
at the game, and they learn the tricks from the professionals that play, and so they get better. It's like learning from a mentor, basically.
Right.
That's what I understand. It's like learning from a mentor. It's just not fun for me to listen to.
But back in the day, like we just had to like get good at it, like you couldn't like there was no yeah.
There's no cheating or
Okay.
watching. Yeah. Okay. So we like being a parent.
I love being a parent. I love being
Yeah,
a
yeah, parenting. Yeah. I
Okay,
like how you
so
specified that
I
too,
have a
'cause you're
question
right.
for you too.
Okay.
I have a question for you too that I won't be able to answer. So this is just you two.
Okay.
Okay.
My question to you is both being working moms at one point and transitioning to stay-at-home moms, how was that transition for you? How did it affect you and how do you feel about it?
I'll let you go.
Okay, I'm going to start this. When I was working and I stayed home, I felt useless. I felt like I always had to be doing something because prior to that, I was always doing something. I was always in the middle of something, a meeting, a phone call, whatever the case may be. My day was very, very busy. When I stopped working, I stopped working. The first time I stopped working was when I had an infant. So I literally felt useless because babies sleep and they poop and they cry and they don't, there's not a lot to do at that age other than sleep, poop and cry. So I literally felt useless. Like I felt like I needed to find something else to do.
Yeah.
But
I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way too.
and
I've
they
heard a
don't
lot
tell
of
you that. Like staying at home is glorious, but you have to adjust. It is a huge adjustment to go from being very busy. For example, you, Lindsay, who have a very busy job, and then not having that makes like those 8 hours that you worked, you now have to fill. And like I just said, I am not great at entertaining my children. Like I feel like they need to use their imaginations and
Yeah.
their brains. Like it's not my job to entertain my kids, nor do I love it. And so that was really, really hard. So when I stopped working around the second time, my kids were older and I was trying to figure out like what I was going to do for myself. And I got a little bit depressed about it, but it was a hard transition for me. And it may not be for everybody, but for me, it was definitely hard because I loved working. I loved working, but I also loved the idea of being at home, but I didn't realize it was going to be so weird, I guess.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually going to say the exact
So it was not an
opposite.
easy transition.
So yeah,
Okay.
so Alma, it was not easy, right?
It was not easy for me.
Okay.
Now it is. Now I can not do anything and be okay about it. But before I felt like I needed to, even though I didn't have to, like I needed to.
Right.
Because I felt like yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say the exact opposite. Okay, so I worked full time and I went and I became a stay-at-home mom. And I remember we didn't know if I was gonna be a stay-at-home mom until like the very end of my pregnancy. And I remember when we decided that I was gonna be a stay-at-home mom, I remember being like, yes, like pajamas, sleeping, relaxing, TV show. I gotta watch like the Kelly Clarkson show all the time during the day, whatever I want to do. And uh so I was pumped. Oh my God. Going from working full time to being a full time stay at home mom. Being a stay at home mom is so hard. I did not have any free time. I was like up all the time. Or if I wasn't, I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep, so I was sad because I wasn't sleeping. And then she needs me all the time, and she cries, and then she wants bottles and diapers, and then she naps, and then
I my schedule to do so many things with my kids. So like we had little gym and then we had music class. And so we had all these things that I literally overstimulated my children. Like to the point where they were not sleeping because they were so stressed.
Right, because you wanted to be busy. Yeah, I just remember
wanting
being
to be busy. And then so I had to take a step back and like reevaluate my life. And I'm not saying the entire time it was like that, but I really thought that I was going to be like that. I was super excited to stay home. And then when I realized I had a lot of time on my hands, I think it gave me more anxiety than anything.
So it's funny because we both feel the same way, that it was a hard transition, but for different reasons. Like I said, I just remember being like, being a stay-at-home mom is the hardest thing. I mean, I remember being like, babe, can I go back to work? But financially, it just made more sense for me to stay at home. So he would, and I remember being like, do you know, babe, you're so lucky you get to like drive in a car without a screaming kid, or go to the bathroom without knowing if that baby's gonna cry, or just anything. I just remember being like, this is so hard.
Shower.
Yes. Or bring the
yeah.
jumper into the bathroom because you got to shower and peek out to make sure.
That all the time, and you just like put it there, and the baby's like, and you're.
I just remember the first time. So I did have a pretty generous maternity leave. I was off for 4 months. So
That's awesome.
Like by the time that I went back,
You're
Mia
muted.
was sleeping through the night, which was, and so like, so the first 3 months was very chaotic. Gia didn't sleep, so I didn't sleep at night, and we just know I'm not a good sleeper, so I didn't nap when the baby napped. Like that's not a thing. I don't think like it's not a thing. So like
Yourself.
Oh,
for like
I said,
three
no,
months,
that is not a thing. Sleeping
like,
when the baby sleeps, go to hell.
yeah,
That's not a thing.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
So
that's
like
another
for 3
people are
months, I
like,
just
just
didn't
sleep
sleep.
when the baby sleeps. And I'm like, but I have to be doing something else that I didn't do
No,
when the baby was awake.
I want to be like, just fuck off when you fuck
Yeah.
off. Like,
no, I'm not
sorry,
going to
this is
sleep because
gonna
I
be
got to
this is
like
gonna be
clean my armpits and stuff and like try to look decent and try to like eat.
or like maybe one region of one room before my kid wakes back up
Exactly.
and makes a mess of it again. I don't like.
That was
I
a
don't know,
good
Alma.
question, Lindsay.
Yeah, I agree that, but I do just like I felt like the baby stage was one of like the most hectic ones where like I felt
Me
like I couldn't
too.
grasp my bearings.
But you know,
I
okay, so
feel
that
like,
being said, Lindsay, because we're talking
yeah,
about stay-at-home moms, at the same time,
Yeah,
I don't really know how you do it. Like, if Gia's up all night, you go to work in the morning. You got to get up, do the things, get her ready, leave it on time. Like,
yeah.
that's a lot. So I think there's challenges with both. And you know, I guess
Um,
unless you've done both, you really can't say which one's harder. Not that it
I
matters.
think they're
It
both
doesn't
hard
really
in
matter.
different ways. They're
Yeah.
both hard.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think my biggest, so I'm not gonna lie, like I walked into work on my first day after maternity leave, and I just like I felt like this weight on my chest. I made it a day and a half before I looked at my boss and said I need to go home. I can't do it. I like bawled my entire way home. And like for I'm not an emotional mom. Like I love my kid dearly, but like I'm not that person. So for that to like feel those emotions for me, I can only imagine what somebody else who is like, very, very like highly emotional. I couldn't imagine how they feel.
Well,
Because
mom
that
guilt
is
is a real thing. Like mom guilt is the worst because it doesn't matter whether you do something right or you do something wrong. You feel guilty about it. You do something for yourself or for somebody else, and it's not for your children, and you feel guilty about it. You go to work, you feel guilty about it. You take that,
Oh yeah.
you feel guilty about it. Like it's a very big thing, and I think that is something. That is
There is guilt no matter what.
Yes. Oh my God, what did I do to my screen here? Gallery.
okay. Why don't we take a turn and just, we were going to do a little bit of everything, but I feel like we have so many mom questions. Why don't we just keep going this episode with just mom questions?
Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds good. You want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because we could. I mean, like I said, we could talk about being mom forever. So, and okay,
I know.
so
And
I have
more mom questions.
okay. Well, yeah, and I haven't even done my first one. So what? And so I'll try to ask. I'm trying to think. This could be a loaded question too, with a lot of answers. But okay, so what is one thing that you said you would never do as a mom, but now that you're a mom, you do it? And I'll tell you, my answer is everything. Everything that I was like, I'm not gonna do it.
That was one of my questions.
Everything, you guys.
Me too.
Oh, was it right?
Yeah,
Yes. It's so true because I remember being like, I remember my first year feeling like kind of bad because I was like, you guys, like just everything I said I would not do, like I'm doing, like like fast food. I was like, there's really well, not her first year, but like just as a mom, like why would I get
My
junk
kid
food?
ate
Why would
French
I get
fries in her first year. Are you kidding me?
I mean, yeah, no, yeah. I'm just talking about like a happy meal, but yeah, like I'm just like, why would I do that? Like I'll just go home and make organic food that I grew in my garden. Well, I don't have a garden, but I'll do that.
Sure.
And now I'm like McDonald's, Big Mac, on a Big Mac, and so it's everything. It's screen time. I'm like,
do you guys know the song? It goes McDonald's, McDonald's.
I've heard that, but I'm gonna look it up now.
We learned it.
Yeah. So
kindergarten.
what about you, ladies? What is something you said?
Kindergarten.
Oh, what is something you guys said that you would never do, but you do?
Everything.
Am I frozen?
No.
Nope.
Everything. Like
okay.
The first thing
watching on the other laptop right now.
iPads at the dinner table was something that I was never like at a restaurant. Like I'm like, Hell no. My kid's never gonna watch a screen at the dinner table. And then after a while, I'm like, shut up, here you go. Like,
You're like, it's rude. They're gonna learn to socialize and communicate at the dinner table. And now I'm like, please don't communicate with me. Please watch this so I can eat my food.
it's like it's survival. And it's not,
I'm gonna be honest, you
go to
guys.
a fancy dinner or something like that, somewhere where you shouldn't really do that. It's fine. But like, that they can survive like at the table, it's not a big deal. But if I'm having a conversation with you and we just happen to bring the kids with us, they're not part of the conversation. It's like, here, have it, take it. Like,
yes,
I don't care what it is. Keep the volume down.
I never had any goals for being a parent. Okay. Until I became pregnant. Well, you have to understand, like, that's sort of an issue because I never felt a maternal instinct. I was never the person who was like, I'm going to grow up and be a mom. So I never talked about being a mom. It was not like I'm, I knew I was going to do all these things and blah, blah, blah. No, I never talked about being a mom.
Lindsay, I did not know that about you.
Neither did I.
I did not know that about you, that you did not have that.
No,
yeah. Because
I never grew up and thought like, no.
I always say, I think
I don't like kids. I love my daughter, but I don't like.
Yes. I'm always like, I think I'm a good mom, but it doesn't come naturally for me. Like when Kennedy it does as she's getting older, but when she was a baby, it wasn't just super natural for me. I had to work at it. I love that you said that though.
The way I explain it is I don't identify. Yeah. Yeah. I don't identify as a mom, but I identify as Gia's mom. That's why it took me a really hard time. It took me a really long time to come around to mom talk because I don't feel like a mom. Like I'm Gia's mom, but I'm not a mom. And so, going back to like what I was trying, like where I was heading to is I didn't make any goals or anything about being pregnant about being a mom until I became pregnant. And my only goal was to not become a helicopter mom because I know that I could have gone so far off the deep end with my control issues if I had not consciously made the effort to not be a helicopter mom. That was literally my only goal in my first.
Lindsay. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really,
I definitely knew that I was good. I would have gone off the deep end. So, I accepted a lot of help, and that was my goal. It's people are like, so what do you how do you plan to be a parent? And I'm like, just not going to be a helicopter mom, just not going to be a helicopter mom. That was all I would ever say.
Because as a mom, I was very hesitant to ask for help. When I first had a child, my mother-in-law lived down the street and she'd always be like, what can I help you with? What can I do? Let me help you. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm fine. I got this. Even though I was freaking dying inside, I am a terrible ask for help person. And so when it came to that, I'm like, I'm a mom. This is what I'm doing. I can do this. And I'm one of those people that I have to try everything on my own and until I need help. I won't ask you for help until I'm really, really desperate for help. And so that is, I did. I mean, 100%, I was completely opposite of you. I wanted to be a mom. I did. I wanted my mom stayed home growing up, and I loved that. And so I wanted to be I'm going to be a mom. That's just what I'm going to be. And I don't identify as just, I'm just I do identify as a mom, which is a problem in my life because I happened to be at a doctor's appointment the other day. I have terrible hormone issues. And he goes, what do you like to do? He goes, being a parent takes you away from being who you are. Because you've just become the parent. And he goes, what are your hobbies? And I was like, what do you mean? What are my hobbies?
I don't have any.
I don't have any. I had so many hobbies before and I was super crafty and did all these things, but I realized then that I only identified as a parent. And so it brought tears to my eyes because I was like, I don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. But who am I? What happened? What happened to me?
Yeah. Two boys happened to you.
Two boys happened.
Yeah.
Okay. They took on my personality and they took off with it.
But that's why I joke that I'm a lazy mom, but I love being a parent because I didn't I didn't take it too seriously where I was I gotta do everything myself. But like, so I have people who will like spoil Gia and who will like help Gia and like do all the things, but then I get to also teach her what I believe is right from wrong. So like
Right.
I get to like have the parts that like I think are cool and fun, and then I just shove her to other people for everything else.
No, I love it.
I feel
That's
like it takes a village. I mean, having kids takes a village, and it takes learning from your parents. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love like now things, but I feel like when we were kids and our parents were kids, like things were more simple. And so I
Mhm.
feel like our kids still need to learn those simple things to like function in life.
I agree.
Well, not only that, but like we just are like we have to simplify things for them so that we can like just take stress out of our own life. There's so much
So we can
crap going
survive.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so that was uh that was a good one. Yeah, I
A
feel like we're
question
all
we all
kind
had, but I have another
okay, what is it?
Okay.
one. Okay. What do you do to occupy your children when you're feeling like being a lazy mom?
An iPad.
I think that question goes more to you guys because you guys have younger children that you have to occupy.
Well, so
Um,
okay, let me specify better. Like when you're feeling like mom guilt, but also like you like, but you're also being like feeling lazy. I'll tell you what I do. Like, and I'll make it
Okay.
easy. So I give you an example. Like when I'm having those days where I'm like I'm lazy, but I'm also awful. I will bring Gia to the park. I'll walk her to the park, and then we'll play at the park, and I can sit and watch her play.
Okay, I gotcha. So mine would be like Play-Doh or
that's
like
Okay.
paint. I'll set her at her little table, where where if she gets it on the floor, I have like a blanket underneath, like it's fine. She can make a mess, but
Yeah.
she's pumped. So I can
She
like put her
loves.
right
Okay.
there, and I can like sit down next to her, and I'll be like, "Oh, I love that. Look at that." So yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, that's what I do.
Oh, I don't consider that being lazy.
Yeah. Well, I don't walk anywhere. I'm walking down to the park. I'm
You're
walking
gonna
down,
go to
set
the
my
park,
booty
like
on the ground.
what? You
Yeah,
mean
but like
leave
the
the
walk,
house?
I'll be honest, like the
Um,
walk is definitely more for me than her at that point because I haven't left my house in 3 days. So I'm like, all right, maybe I ought to like
So, well,
adventure out of my home.
that's a good question too, Lindsay, because when I let her do that, she thinks I'm like amazing and I'm so fun.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking like, oh, this is more for me than it is for you, but they don't know that.
right. Yeah. And I
popcorn,
mean, like
let my
iPad's a
kids
good
enjoy a
answer,
movie.
but it's also like, sorry.
No, 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 it's fine.
I was
There's
just gonna say iPad's a good answer, but like that, I was just talking more specifically, like when you're like, okay, I've done this 4 days in a row, and like I'm just an awful human. What am I gonna do today to like
You
make
meant
my
like more
kid
of like an
think that I'm?
activity.
Yeah.
so as
Yeah,
far
okay, I
if
got
we're
you.
gonna do an activity, as far as an activity goes, one of my kids skateboards and the other one bikes or scooters. So I can take the kids to the park down the street, which has a little like bowl in it, like a skate bowl. And
You walk
That's
into
very
the park
popular in
too?
California.
no, I don't walk. No, hell no.
Oh, I was like, geez, you walkers.
I drive, and sometimes, and for the first like 15, 20 minutes, I sit in my car by myself. And my kids are old enough that we can do
Your
that.
kids
But
are old
like,
enough,
yeah,
totally fine.
but
Yeah.
but that or movie days, like family
That's
movies are
fun.
huge for our kids. So we do like popcorn and candy and like drinks, and we'll put on a movie, and they can kind of like get like junk food that they normally don't get on a daily basis and enjoy a movie. And so lately, Jeremy has been putting on old movies. So we watched like all the Back to the Futures. We did like
Oh, that's great.
The Sandlot, Little Giants, Little Rascals, like
That's
all
fun.
the
I
old
like
movies
that.
that we loved. And so we're starting to catch them up on those movies. So movie nights are definitely a go-to for my kids, or just movie time. And I can sit on the couch and just relax and watch a movie that I've already seen and I
Yeah.
like, and I don't have to watch like the crappy movies that are coming out or the YouTube or
Or
whatever.
watch them play video games or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can watch something
Yeah.
I enjoy and I can relax too. That's a huge one.
All right, you guys. In the spirit of trying to keep our YouTube channel a little
we
bit
are trying to work on
shorter,
that.
do we have any closing thoughts before our hot topic?
I think it's really cool to ask those questions and see our answers, to see how similar we are, but also how different we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
think
I
any
think
mom that's watching us right now and joining us right now, they can relate to one of us for sure. Or
Well,
all
and
of
I-
us.
yeah.
I feel like this pandemic has changed a lot for a lot of us as far as when you said like when you're feeling lazy, like I literally feel lazy every day and I do feel guilty about it sometimes. And so I feel like maybe this may motivate somebody to get up and walk to the park or go somewhere
Absolutely.
outside and get a little bit of sun. Because if I, during this pandemic, if I could be in, I don't leave my house sometimes for a long time. And for me, I can go take an hour long walk and actually leave my kids at home to do that for myself. But if
Yeah.
you can't, like
Yeah.
walk with your kids, like getting a little bit of sun, walking with your kids, letting them take their scooter or little bike or whatever the case may be, like it's so good for your mental health. And I think that is a great, you brought up a great point, Lindsay, when you
Yeah,
said,
that is a really good point because it's kind
yeah,
of all around.
Yeah.
It talks about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I'm
that was
huge
good.
on mental health because I've like just had a lot of like anxiety, depression, like
Same.
through this pandemic that I feel like that like getting out and walking is like a huge mind release
I love that's like your form of self-care.
thing. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's
I
free.
love that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, girl. Okay,
All
are
right.
we
guys,
gonna do the hot topic?
we have excuse me. I didn't hear you.
I'm getting the
Oh, yes.
stopwatch ready.
We have our hot topic, and today the hot topic is luxury or dupe.
I feel like it's a little
Which
controversial.
would you prefer?
What do you guys prefer, ladies?
Okay, I will go first. My answer is if you can't afford it, I would not buy it personally. Or not even if you can't afford it. Sorry. If you're not willing to buy the luxury, then I would not buy it at all.
Okay.
Darcy?
I'm on that boat, and not necessarily for the like financial aspect, but I am huge on buying the original versus the dupe for the company purposes.
Oh yes, we
Agree.
talked about this.
For the
About
company,
how like
Yeah.
there's like so I'm gonna go with
Yeah, give us your
dupe because it's so like I look at like they're so similar. I have had a real one and a dupe, and they are so similar. And I look at it like you dummies spending thousands of
Yeah.
dollars on something when I have it for 25, and like is it gonna fall apart before yours? Yeah. Maybe
right.
if I keep rebuying
no,
new
to
ones,
that-
it would take a while. But I do. Alma, you
Yeah,
made a good
Alma's
point
point.
about
Yeah, it's
I
about
didn't
the
even think
integrity
about
of
that.
like the bag in the store and the being able to, So, Alma,
And
what
then
was it? You said something about how they can take your
so
bag.
there are certain luxury companies that can actually take your fake, and it has to be like not just like for example, there's a lot of dupes out there right now of like the checkerboard dupes.
I was gonna say,
That are
when I
not,
think
that are
about
not,
dupes, I'm
that are
talking
not
about
like
the inspiration.
like a real dupe. Like it's not like the exact replica of the bag, but if you are
Right.
carrying an exact replica of a bag or specific watch companies and things like that, and you are caught with it, they are allowed to confiscate it.
See,
So
I'm talking about like legal dupes. You know, like I don't
No,
want to go to
yeah, and
jail.
I don't
But
think
yeah.
there's anything wrong with buying them. If people feel good about it, there's nothing wrong with that. But my point is like to the point of the store and what Alma said is like in my I don't know in my aspect it's like showing it respect.
Yeah, no. I think it's disrespectful that they're that expensive. But that's
All right, you guys.
I'm curious
That
to
is
see what
all
everyone says.
for
So
this-
comment and let us know.
yeah, comment and let us know.
Yes. Let us know how you feel
Dupe
about
or
it. That's
designer?
all for tonight's episode, though, you guys. Have a great night. Enjoy a cocktail, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.